Hello and welcome. I'm your host Crazy and you're watching PowetToys.
Action figures.
I recently got around to opening my Masters of the Universe Classics Optikk figure, the May 2010 Club Eternia exclusive figure on MediCollector.com. I was pretty big into the New Adventures of He-Man while it was airing. Each morning I'd try and catch an episode before I'd head out to school. And because the MOTUC Classics line is a celebration of all incarnations of the Masters of the Universe franchise, Optikk was chosen as the representative for the New Adventures of He-Man line and series. Before I go into the character of Optikk much, I just want to mention the really cool Space Mutants logo that was designed for Optikk's packaging. There's pretty much a logo for each faction of Masters of the Universe, and there hadn't been one for the Space Mutants. So Mattel designed this brand new one, which has a very 50s sci-fi B-movie feel to it. Very cool. Optikk didn't get a whole lot of character development in the series. He was pretty much just one of Flog's mutant flunkies. He did, however, have the role of navigator on the mutant mothership, with his own seat and console on the bridge. Optikk's original bio and his new Classics bio are very similar, so much so that they both say his real name is pronounced in a series of blinks, which I find hysterical considering he has no eyelid with which to blink. But I'll include in the show notes the Classics bio, the new one, on Optikk's packaging, in addition to Optikk's original character description from the New Adventures series Bible. The Classics bio is actually interesting because it notes that, or at least indicates that Season 4 of the Mike Young Productions 2002 series actually would have focused on the New Adventures kind of theme, with He-Man joining Galactic Guardians and Skeletor joining the Space Mutants, trying to take over the Horde Empire after he defeats Hordak, which I thought was pretty interesting because that's all pretty much new territory. But let's get back to Optikk. Now the MOTUC Classics line does not feature any gimmicks or action features, but the original Optikk did. He had a little wheel on his back that you could turn, and it would move his eye, or head, eye, back and forth. Now, the new figure does not do that because it can't have any action features. However, the little wheel is actually sculpted into the back of his armor, which I thought was a really neat little detail. As far as accessories go, Optikk comes with an extra head, or eye, whose color is based on the original character art. His blaster weapon, a photon neutralizer, is fashioned after the weapon from Optikk's original form. The shield is something new that was added by the Four Horsemen, because it kind of looked like an eye, but was generic enough that it could be reused later down the line. Optikk borrows the arms and legs of Trapjaw. The crotch piece is actually a new style of loincloth that is sure to be reused for the more robotic characters in the line. You wouldn't notice it unless you looked up the loincloth. Optikk's torso is also a very interesting piece. This lower part at the ab is a separate piece that seems to go all the way around. But this piece up here is actually not part of the torso itself. It's actually armor. So I'm going to remove it just to show you how just innovative this was. But the first thing I need to do is take off Optikk's eye, head, whatever we're calling it. So we just pull, and it'll come off. Careful when you pull off though, because if you rub it on the any of these sides, there's a chance you'll mark the eye with some of that gold paint. So just a word of warning. Alright, so next on the back, you'll see dots here, 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 and here. That's where it fastens, and we're just gonna try and unhook those just like that. And the same on the other side, just pop them right off like that. And that should free it up to bring it right off. And when we look at it, we see it is our standard torso that all the other figures have, with the addition of this one extra ab piece that just kind of wraps around the base here. I'm not sure if that's removable, and I don't really want to attempt to remove it either, because this is not a figure I want to go breaking. But I was just in awe at how much this armor made it look like a completely new torso. Very innovative design, and definitely something we'll be seeing again, most likely on Man-E-Faces, and probably several other more robotic characters. Just put Optikk's head back on. So here is Optikk without his armor. You can see what I meant about the up and down movement being limited, even with the armor off. Optikk features most of the regular articulation for MOTUC Classics, starting at the incredibly loose right ankle joint, the still pretty loose left ankle. He has a cut calf, hinged knee, ball joint at the hip, cut waist, ab hinge, ball joint at the shoulder, a cut bicep, hinged elbow, and a swiveling wrist. The wrists, there was some concern when the promo pictures were put up on MattyCollector.com, because the sample actually had two right fists, I believe, and that was cause for concern. But it was all good, because when they were shipped out, they had both a left and a right fist. Also, the big eyeball is a ball joint, which is awesome, because that was not really expected to be movable. You can see the joint on the extra head right in there. That's where the peg fits in, and it just moves all around. There's plenty of side-to-side movement, but not much in the way of up and down movement, which is a little disappointing, but not much. The only other thing that's distracting about the eye is that you can see, I'm not sure how well it will come out on camera, but you can see the seam of the two halves of the eye on the side, and that's a little distracting when you're looking at it. Maybe another layer of paint or something could have covered that. Maybe a glossier paint so it looks like an actual a watering eye. But minor complaint. This is an amazing looking figure. There was also some complaints that he had too much of this gold, kind of gold color on him. But I think the accents of all those rivets and other points really just make it pop. I'm very, very pleased with how this figure turned out. Well, it looks like I'm out of time, so thanks for watching. Remember to check out Powet.tv for all the latest news on gaming, comics, toys, movies, music, and a whole lot more. You have any comments, questions, or suggestions, feel free to email me at crazy@powet.tv. Check me out on Twitter at PowetToys, the main site at PowetTV, and as always, remember kids, open your toys, especially Optikk, or he'll just keep staring at you. No blinking. Ever.